First of all, I've heard a lot of the criticisms, the fear that we're going to have a brain drain. If you go back to the 50s and 60s, the American space program, the program that was the first to put a human being on the surface of the moon, was built by American citizens, some German and Jewish scientists who had come over during World War II, but mostly by American citizens who had built an incredible space program with American talent. This idea that American citizens don't have the talent to do great things, that you have to import a foreign class of servants and professors to do these things, I just reject that. I actually think we invest in our own people, we can do a lot of good. You've heard that criticism in particular as the president has talked about cracking down on foreign student visas and their abuses, but I think that's actually an opportunity for American citizens to really flourish. And here's the second and maybe the most fundamental point, Greg. These institutions do an important job, but if you back up and look at American higher education over the past 20 or 30 years, there are a few incontrovertible facts. Number one, the hard sciences, particularly biology, we have a terrible what's called a reproducibility crisis, meaning most of the papers that are published in biology, they don't replicate. They're not good science. So even our elite universities are not often doing good science. Second important point, these institutions, sometimes by their own admission, are engaging in explicit racial discrimination, often against whites and Asians, in explicit violation of the Civil Rights Act. If the people's government can't come in, given those problems, and say, look, we got to have some accountability here. You can't violate the Civil Rights Act. We got to make sure that if we're funding science with federal money, you're actually doing good science. That's called accountability. That's not going to war on these institutions. And let me just make one final point about this, because I care a lot about this. I want these universities to reform and to accept that they are part of an American body politic, that if the American taxpayer is frustrated with these universities, they've got to reform. What they're doing instead, what too many of them are doing, is saying, oh, the Trump administration, this is dictatorial, this is fascism. No, this is democratic accountability, and I think the universities ought to see it as an opportunity. If they do that, they're going to get better, and the American people will be better off because of it.